Hi, everybody. Good morning. Wonderful that everybody is here. So, welcome to the beginning. And you thought we were going to talk about the end. Many of you have been with us for, I don't know how long. Oh, I love all these emojis. Can someone send me instructions how to turn off emojis so it doesn't cover my whole screen? That'd be great. Thank you. Um, I've been trying to figure it out. So we are we are at the end of something, and then we're moving into the beginning of something else. And I wanted to take the time today to talk about actually something else. This is how I typically roll. Get you all here for one thing, and then we'll talk about something else. Um, but it's entirely related. So why are we here? We have a thing in the Asian Classics Institute, the thing, the only thing, the main thing called the 18 courses. And these courses were developed in the 1990s as a model of the monastic curriculum that's traditionally taught. Everything you need to know about Buddhist ideas and how to live them. And so these courses have become the foundation of our organization, Asian Classics Institute, because they give you everything you need, all the information you need to create a life of transformation, to create a life of that's worth living, and a life that you can say at the end that, yeah, I did a good job. Right? When you look back and say, all right, I did this. This is how I lived my life. This is how I cared for others. And this is the impact that I made. And the ideas themselves really are not the impact, right? The ideas are just guideposts. They're advices on how to live a good life from the basics, from how do I care for people who are sick? How do I care for people who have less than me? How do I care for people when I have challenges myself? When I'm experiencing a lack, when I'm experiencing sickness or financial difficulties or emotional pain? Like, how do we face all of these things? Right. And so we've our founder, Geshe Michael, put all of these courses together to give you all of those steps, all of those instructions, to come back to them over and over again. It's not like this is a thing where, oh, you just do it once and you say, oh, I get it. I'm now fully enlightened. I wish it were that way. Maybe some of you have those seats. But in general, these ideas get presented in one way, and then they get presented in different ways. And then we hear them over and over again in different contexts because our life has different contexts. Our life changes. The life that you had, if you're old enough to say the life that I had 20 years ago is different than the life that I have now. And then the life that I'll have in 20 more years, if you have 20 more left, will be different than the one now. And one feature of life that is constant is that it always changes. and forget about making plans. Like there are like every great plan was interrupted by some side quest, some interruption, some major change. So that's why in this course of study, we have 15 primary courses, 15 main content courses, which we just finished. If you've been around with me, we just finished them 2 weeks ago, maybe. We did all 161 classes, right, over the last 5 years. And even if you think about over the last 5 years, if you've been with me or been with any other teacher through this incredibly long in-depth study, who were you 5 years ago? Like, take a moment. Like, take a moment to think about who were you 5 years ago? Who was that person? You know, who are you now? Like, don't judge who you are now, like being like, oh, I'm not perfect enough. Okay, fine. Good. You're not perfect enough. Good luck. That's how we all are. Right. But think about who you were 5 years ago. What things did you learn? What have you put into practice? What have you integrated? Have you integrated every single great idea from the 15 courses in 5 years? That would be amazing, but that's a lot. Right. And I had somebody came to me once and said, Tim, I finished all the 18 courses. What's next? And my answer was, do them again. They were like, what? And I said, do it again. Like the first time through was a rough draft, was a rehearsal. Every performance requires many rehearsals, right? And it's an ongoing study. Like it's ongoing because it's not like this isn't okay. Look, this isn't like, oh, you memorize a definition. Semke pani shendun chir yandak sokpe chanchub de, right? The definition of bodhicitta. Good. Great, Tim. You can say it in Tibetan. Wonderful. You're so awesome. Right? I'm actually surprised I remembered it without thinking about it. But the words are just words, right? The mind of enlightenment, the mind of a bodhisattva who wants to achieve something that could be for the benefit of other people, right? What does that look like, right? What is that like? How does one live like that? And when you go through if you go through the ideas again and again and again, like I'm studying the Lam Rim again. I'm going through. I'm actually teaching a class this afternoon to some people on Lam Rim, here in Sedona. And I'm going through the ideas again. I'm like, oh wow, oh, I missed that little piece. Like I'm going through the section on leisure and fortune, and I was like, oh, am I taking advantage of the goodness that I have right now? Right? Or did I miss something? Or am I missing something? Right? Yeah, I studied leisure and fortune back in 2010, right? Once. So therefore I know it, right? And there's a difference between study and then integration and living, right? How does it work out for each of you in each of your lives? That's your biography. That's your life. That's your particular trajectory. And so what we're trying to do at the Asian Classics Institute, moving into a transformation itself, which I'll talk about a little bit later, is that we have opportunities to review, or let's say reapproach the teachings with the person you are today. Okay. The person you are today is going to look at those ideas differently than you did 5 years ago. Right? Because you're a different person. So then are the ideas the same? Right? The ideas, what were they 5 years ago and what are they today? What lens do you look at them with? You see? And so this is what this short hour class is about. And it's more going to be is then how are we going to review all of those ideas, right? Because we have 15 courses, 15 content courses, in-depth study. By the way, I was reviewing all the rules and regulations for ACI 16, 17, and 18. Hi, Erica. It's good to see you. And there's a rule. Now I get to make a rule. Before I could just make a nice general suggestion. ACI 16, 17, and 18. When you attend these classes, there's a rule. And what is the rule? For $100. Anastasia, you're not allowed to give it. What is the rule? Thank you. Send me your PayPal. What is your name? Vu. And Noen Vu. Please send me your PayPal. Camera on. We want to know that you're in class. And that's how it'll be from now on through Diamond Way. You can't hide behind your little avatar. Okay. That will be a rule. So I'm sorry. I've been preparing you for this. I've been telling you guys this almost every single class. I've made gentle requests. I've been funny. I've been wrathful. I've been everything in between about it. Okay. But we want to see your face. Attendance means camera on. Not today. You don't have to do it today. You have at least one more day where you can hide. Okay. Just one more day. All right. And there's a real reason for that. And it has to do with connection with each other. Okay. It has to do with it because we can't do this by ourselves. None of this gets done by ourselves. We're not alone. And we're planting seeds for, we're planting seeds for community. We're planting seeds for seeing each other. Like, I see you. I see you in your pain. I see you in your happiness. Right? Even if you want to hide, like, I see that what we see that in each other. We see that. Okay. And we all can feel that too. Right? We all know what that feels like. So why don't we be a little bit more, I don't know, vulnerable with all the different people that we are? Sometimes we're happy. Like, I don't like showing up when I don't feel well. Right? Because I don't want to bother people with whatever flavor of the day I have. Right? But what if you showed up in a way that was vulnerable and you're like, these are the seeds that are ripening for me today. And guess what? I didn't have time to take a shower. I didn't have time to put on my nice clothes. I just look like crap today. I look like I've been crying, right? Whatever it is. Guess what? Then there's hopefully not all 300, 200 people are going to be in that state, like statistically speaking, right? then we can support each other. Let your Dharma friends help you. Let them plant good seeds. You're having a crappy day? Great. Who can help me? What seeds can I give them to help me so I can be a better bodhisattva? See, get it? All right. So that will be rule number one. But let's not talk about rules. I just like to look at your faces. Because look, I'm seeing people from Taiwan. I'm seeing people from Romania. I'm seeing people from Mexico. I mean, seeing people from Vietnam. Like, this is cool. Because what we're doing here, we're not just planting seeds, or we're not just giving you information on how to finish the 18 courses. Right? That's nice. And it's going to be in about 10 minutes, I'm going to start talking about it. Okay. But what's the point? What's the point of all of this? The point is that we're building a community of people that have an aspiration to change the world, to transform the suffering that we see in our local communities, the suffering that we see in our families, the suffering we see in the people close to us, and support each other. Look, life is not, hopefully you have moments of bubbles and rainbows and unicorns, right? But there's also moments of difficulty. There's moments of, even throughout a day, you can go through feeling great to feeling crappy. Right. And how do we look after each other? What do we stand up for is a good way of life. And living a good way of life is being a good example of it. Like, it's not, yes, it is important if at times that you need to stand up to more difficult things. But change comes through being a good person. Because then people just want to be like you. Like, if you're just nice and relaxed and caring for people, and regardless of how you feel. Like, I've seen my teacher be in some of the worst pain and still taking care of other people, still being somewhat actually quite funny. You see, so that's why we're doing it, right? We do the 15 courses to give us the foundation. And I say it's a beginning because it's a foundation. Sutra is a foundation. Sutra, if this is the depressing part of sutra, is that the time that it takes for those kinds of activities, the six perfections, for those activities to integrate, take hold, and transform, it's like watching a saguaro cactus grow. If you've ever watched a cactus grow. It grows, but you don't notice it. Saguaro cactus can live 200-300 years, right? Longer than all of our lifetimes, right? Sutra has this cactus style transformation. Like, and if you don't know what a cactus is and you haven't watched a cactus, like, how about pick a big tree from your neighborhood. You don't notice the tree growing. The only reason I notice the trees growing in my parents' yard is because of pictures from my childhood. And I'm like, oh, well, that tree was tiny. Now it's enormous, right? But it's slow. It's, to reach that kind of growth, like, can take lifetimes. And the foundations are key for everything else to work. Right. And I hope you're here not because you have this, you've been in, it has been, what's the word? It's been ingrained in you that you have to finish the 18 courses. I hope that's not why you're here. Of course, that's what we're going to do. That's what the action looks like. But I hope you're here because if you don't know the why, then it's just some meaningless certificate that you're going to get. You know, frame your 18 certificates, put them up on the wall. Maybe I'll do that. That'd be weird. Anyway, maybe I'll do that. Right. Frame the 18 certificates. I finished 18 courses, which is an incredible accomplishment in and of itself. 6, 7 years of study. Like, that's more than university. Oh, Tim, but it's not as many classes as university. Yeah, life is a university. Like, it takes 5, 6, 7 years to integrate the ideas. Tim, I finished the ACI courses in 3 years. Sure, you wrote the answers down. But now it's time to integrate. Now it's time to live. Now it's time to suffer a little bit. You need a good dose of suffering, you know, and I mean that lovingly. Like, as you're transforming, samsara, this life will show you its nasty colors. But now you have different ways of navigating it. And let's see how you navigate the old way versus the new way. Right. And then what will happen is the old way. The other day, I was cleaning up in my bathroom, and I've had some over the last year, year and a half, I've had a lot of just mystery sickness. Nobody knows what it is. No one can tell me what it is. And I looked in my medicine cabinet as I was kind of organizing stuff, and I was like, look at all of these supplements and herbs and things that I bought that I thought were going to make me feel better. Started and stopped. I'm like, oh my God, I could have taken a trip to Japan with all that money that I spent. Right. And most of them are just half full, never finished, didn't work. You know, Instagram and TikTok are full of the next greatest supplement that's going to save your life. Right. And it was really like, I was like, that doesn't work. Now, I'm not saying don't take medicines. I'm not saying supplements and herbs don't work. But I wasn't, because of you know, the desperation you feel when you want to feel better. We forget about where does it come from in the first place. We forget where, like, what's the thing that creates health, creates peace, right? And really, like, the thing that shifted for me is, I just went into seed planting mode. Great, wonderful. The executive director of ACI decided that maybe he should plant some seeds. Wow, that's a novel idea. How long has this ACI director been doing this? A long time, probably lifetimes. Yet it was such a great idea one day. It was, oh, maybe I should plant some seeds. Right. And that's what I started doing. And then what I realized is that my nervous system was so dysregulated that I was in a constant fight or flight because I was trying to solve the problem, that I couldn't get my nervous system to calm down enough to allow my body to heal. So it didn't matter how many supplements I took or how many this or how many of that, right? If I was stuck in that space, but I didn't even know I was stuck there, right? And so I looked at, okay, well, what am I feeling? Well, I'm feeling discomfort. I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling stressed. I'm feeling a little out of control. Okay, well, that's what you help other people with, dummy. you great, you great Buddhist practitioner, right? You were so arrogant to think you're such a great practitioner. No, but seriously, what I mean is, then I did that, and then all of a sudden, some of the answers showed up. Oh, nice, nice. Thanks for the. That was suspicious, right? You know, and that's why we need to hear everything over and over again. Constantly remind us. Oh, hello, Timmy. Little Timmy, you got to plant some seeds, right? Got to rejoice in the goodness of what you've done for others, right? And now I have a medicine cabinet full of stuff I probably won't use because I didn't need them, right? Like even yesterday, I did for the first time in like 6 months. I was kind of anxious to do it, but I'm building a platform behind my house to put a hot tub on, and we found a whole bunch of, you know, I was like, dang, I don't want to buy all this rock and sheet, this like concrete or whatever to create a platform. And so I went online, and a guy down the street's giving away a whole bunch of old pieces of, it's called flagstone. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. Turns out that it matches perfectly the flagstone that's already out there. Great. Um, and so a friend of mine, we went over and we just loaded up the car twice full of flagstone to then build a nice platform out here so I can put my hot tub on it. Right. And I was nervous about it because, Laura knows, like when I was in Barcelona, like the Taiwanese know when I was there over the summer, I was not feeling well. Like I had no energy. Like I just could teach. And then I took lots of naps, right? I couldn't walk more than 10 minutes without getting super exhausted. But I was really worried about it, but I was like, well, let's see what happens. And yeah, I'm a little sore today, but I'm sore because I haven't done anything in like 6 months. I haven't lifted anything heavier than a banana. Right. So of course my muscles are a little sore today. Right. But my body didn't go into freak out mode. Right. So I'm like, okay, cool. Things are getting better. But I had to plant the seed first. Right. Like literally, it's one line, everybody. It's one line. You see something in your world and you say, why do I have to see this? There's some cause for this. Some cause created this. Okay. Well, what would be the opposite cause to put into place while cause number one, which is resulting, is playing out? That's all it is. Right? Today is a whole world of results from previous causes. Some of those results will last a long time. Some of them will last 2 seconds. Right? So what can I do about it? I can just do different causes. That's the secret. It's not harder than that. But why is it so damn hard? Right? Because you want the solution right now because you feel crappy right now. The world feels crappy right now. Right? So I want a solution now. So let's go protest. Let's go buy supplements. And now, but remember, I didn't say that protesting doesn't work, and I didn't say that supplements don't work. But do you have the right causes? Do you have the right causes and conditions for the seeds to ripen then? And that's the name of the game. Stop doing the things that create the badness. And then, oh, Tim, but I stopped doing that last week. I know, but you still have a bunch of stuff ripening. How long is it going to last for? Until it stops. How long is that going to be? When it stops. That's the most frustrating answer of all time. When will it stop? When it stops. Are there ways to increase the speed of purification, stopping the negative seeds ripening? And is there a way to increase the speed of the new causes to get those results out? Yes. But that requires you to transform who you are and who you think you are and how you've been for probably lifetimes. And that's why I would imagine you're here today, because you want that, right? Do you want that? And if you want that, we're going through the steps to get there, right? And that thing is called that thing is called Diamond Way. That thing is called maybe we can call it the path of bliss that results in the ending of the suffering that you experience in the beginning of an exquisite life. And so to do all of that, we have to keep reviewing and make sure that we got all of the stuff. Like, did you do you have the foundations? Because in order for that faster path to work, in order for that faster path to land, in order for the mental attitudes to function and thrive and not, spin off into more suffering. We need the strength of the foundation to be like the concrete needs to be cured. Like interpreters, like when concrete hardens, like it's called curing, right? We need that concrete to be solid. And so that's why the ACI courses, we do 15 of them. And then we do 3 courses of review, like rapid fire. Here's all the information, and don't worry. Well, when am I going to get Diamond Way? You're getting Diamond Way. Stop whining. Okay. You're getting it. Where else are you getting it? I don't know. Anastasia, get the banners ready for Phoenix. Okay. Like, where else are you getting it? Like, it's all around you if you have the seeds. Like, and I get it, guys. Look. Oh, I heard there's this thing called the 18 courses. Yes. And I heard when I finish them, I can learn the fast path, the quick path. Yes. So I have to do the 18 courses. Yes. Are the 18 courses the cause to be a Diamond Way practitioner? Venerable Cat looks like she's eating something and she's kind of shaking her head a little bit. Do they contribute? Yes. If you study the ideas and integrate them, I'm not talking about like, oh, I can say Simke Pani Shenjin Chir Yandak Sokpe Janchib Du. Right? You can say all of those things. but are you the act of living the path of the six perfections plants the seeds for diamond way experiences just to happen automatically. Right? We need the classroom time. We need the constructing time, right? To like, here's some ideas. Let's think about this. How do we put this into our life? How do we navigate this with our partner, with our kids, at work, in the world in general, right? How do you do it? So you need the classroom time, but the classroom time serves as a space for transformation, but you still have to choose it. Right. And that choice of transformation, it's a constant choice. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but you constantly have to choose it. Like it's a choice you make every day, just like staying with a partner for years. Just because you put a ring on a finger like 50 years ago doesn't mean you're married. You could be married and then not have a relationship for 50 years. Right. But, when I think of relationships, it's like, I'm choosing you tomorrow. I'm choosing love tomorrow. I'm choosing whatever happens tomorrow, whatever childhood wound shows up tomorrow in me, right? Or whatever kind of sideways events happen tomorrow, I'm choosing you. To say the words before you go to bed, you say tomorrow, and both people say yes, tomorrow. We're doing this tomorrow too. Like we love each other now, and and love is a choice. To love someone is a choice, right? And transformation is the same way. Like you have to choose to transform. You will come up against your shadows. You will come up against your darkest demons. You will come up against all the things that you thought were self-existent, like my medicine cabinet full of herbs and supplements. Okay. And that's why we're doing this. We're choosing to transform. And so we're creating a strong foundation, and we're reviewing that foundation. And many of us are close to finishing those 15, 18 courses. And what I decided to do was, let's do this a little differently. Instead of having 10 classes in 4 weeks to review all the material like a fire hose, because I know many of you also still haven't finished the other 15 courses in their entirety, including their homeworks and their quizzes and their final exams. It's a review. Again, it's about foundation creation. Okay, I know many of you have childhood trauma when it comes to homework. Your families made you, did you do your homework yet? No, I want to go play. It's still sunny outside. Did you do your homework? You know, then I never did my homework, except I got up in the morning and I did it, and I would rush, and I would do it between classes, and I would do it at lunch periods, and I would skip one class to do the homework for another class. Don't ask how I had the karma to skip all the classes and still graduate, but don't worry about that. But don't think of it as homework. Like, let's erase the word homework. Let's call it foundation building. Let's call it transformation. That sounds so cheesy. Activation, like the path of transformation. Each time you open up an ACI homework and you look at it and you think about the ideas, and then you apply them to your life, then you're living it, right? you're transforming, like, and so different modes: listening, writing, memorizing, thinking, writing on paper, typing on your computer. All of those things help to for it to land. And when it lands, you will know. The ideas will you'll just wake up. You're all of a sudden the the karma shifts, right? And all of a sudden you see something differently, and you're like, oh, I see that. I see what's going on. Okay. So instead of having a fire hose event, we're going to have a fire hose 15 months. Okay. More relaxed, but also very powerful. So over the next 15 months, we're going to do ACI 16, 17, and 18 as part of our path of transformation. If you want, there's two things. If you want to enter into Diamond Way, and I'm okay, first of all, parentheses, just because you do these courses with me doesn't make me your teacher. Okay. Your teacher could be somebody else. You may not know who your teacher is yet. That's okay. All right. I'm just guiding you through this. If you have another teacher and they're like, you need to finish the 18 courses and you haven't finished yet, and this is a way to do that, that's wonderful. Do that. I'm not here to say I'm your teacher. I'm here to guide you through these courses. So to prepare you for the quick path, for the ways to shift your attitudes and practices to purify faster and to plant seeds faster and more powerfully so they ripen in this lifetime. They ripen now and not have to wait until some future moment, which you can't even imagine, or to go through other lifetimes. Like let's just do it now. I say do it now. Why should we waste our time? And let me tell you something. You probably did it before already. Probably not here for the first time. Okay. It's weird for people to want to do 18 academic courses and spend their life trying to transform themselves. Okay. It's weird. It's not normal. You're already not normal. Okay. So don't think that this is the first time, but let's make it the last time. Right. And so that's what I'm offering. And I will do my best as I'm on my own path. Right. But that's what I'm offering is let's do this together. Right. And it's not just a one person kind of thing. It's a group effort. It's a community effort. And that's why I had this inspiration in the shower right around the time that I realized that all the supplements and things I was doing wasn't working from its own side. I was realizing that I needed to change how I was navigating what was happening. By the way, I found a functional neurologist. He was like, I got you, don't worry. Right. Took me a long time. Now I just need to figure out. Now I need to plant seeds for a doctor that I can afford. Right. That's a different thing. United States healthcare sucks. That's another seed I need to change. But I found someone, and I'm gonna make it work. Not a problem. But these are the angles that we come at. Oh, I found a great doctor, but I can't afford it. Damn it. Okay, well then I need to plant seeds for more money. Okay, I can do that. No problem. Right. I just gave away $100. Right. Don't forget to send me your PayPal. Right. See? So this journey that we're going on, I'm committing to it. I'm committing to teaching all all of the courses, everything that's within the open and secret teachings that I've been taught. I'm committing to teaching that. And I'm almost finished with what I say, I'm 36, 35, 34. I'm on course 33 of 36 right now. Okay. Almost done. And I will finish all of those before I start teaching, before we get into the father tantra. They will all be done by then. Okay. So here's what I'm offering. We're offering the next 15 months, and we're going to go through all 15 courses. All right. And so the review courses, ACI 16, 17, and 18. There's 2 classes dedicated as a review of the greatest ideas. All right. And when I took them, as I said, it was like a fire hose. It was just like, I just felt like one of those things called in Ghostbusters. They're things that they capture the ghosts with. It just felt like I was being shot with like electrical, like electrical weapon, right? Trying to be like, here, we're going to go over this way. And it was just way too much information. It was too fast, and I wanted to take the time to say, well, I didn't really understand that idea, or I want to explore that idea more. So the way we're going to do this is each month is going to be dedicated to each of the 15 courses. So month 1 is course 1, month 2 is course 2, month 6 is course 6, month 15 will be course 15. And at the beginning of the month, which is actually going to be which will be, I think, we're going to start in the second week of each month. Okay. But the beginning of each month cycle, I think the first one is October or November 7th or 8th or something. 9th, I think, there'll be a day where I give, and it's going to be Sundays. Okay. And I chose Sundays so people won't miss those classes because of work. Okay. I chose that day so people could come, because those courses have to get. Let's mute that person. Thank you. To get the certificate for ACI 16, 17, and 18, you have to attend the class live. Okay. And you have to have your camera on. Okay. And we will have people looking. Anastasia, all you need to do is just go through the list and see who has the camera off to take attendance, who has the camera on. Right. Okay. And I understand there will be times when you can't have it on all the time. Middle of the class, you have to go to the bathroom. Please, for everyone else's sake, turn off the camera on your phone, go to the bathroom, make sure your microphone is off. Okay. Do what you need to do. Then come back and turn on your camera. That's okay. All right. But block off that time. We're going to do, it'd be three hours or so. Block off that time. And that's the time you're in class. You're not doing something else. You're not exercising. You're not driving your kids to soccer practice. Just block it off. Right. And guess what? If your kids need to go to soccer practice, ask if, plan it in advance, something like that. But be present, be there. Okay. That's why I chose to do Sundays. So everyone could be there. It'll be early in the morning at the ass crack of dawn for me, and super late for some of you in Japan and Vietnam. I'm sorry, time zones are a weird reality, but it'll just be what it is. So what we're going to do is in the month, I'll teach the class, the ACI 16 or 17 or 18 classes. And then for the rest of the month, we will be having review groups in each language. So people who are already ACI certified lecturers or people who just attended the class and want to teach, it doesn't matter. We're going to have review classes where you can go and they're going to go through each of the homeworks. Maybe Anna Andreeva from Ukraine had a great idea that each person takes a homework question and then presents the answer to everybody to practice teaching. I thought it was a great idea. Anastasia is managing it. I'm not paying attention. I just expecting that's going to happen. Okay. And so over the next month, if you haven't finished the ACI course yet, this will give you a structured way to get through it. Oh, Tim, what if I haven't taken ACI 1 yet, but I want to do this? Great. Go on the platform, choose your favorite teacher, and you can listen to the classes too. Right? And so the idea is let's have a 15-month party called a completion karma party, where at the end of 15 months, we will have reviewed all the greatest ideas. You will have the homeworks, quizzes, and exams done. And you can print out your certificates and make a wall of celebration for have taken the time to say, I will be transforming myself and I'm committing myself to do it. I've committed myself to do it. And this is the physical result of it, your certificates from Asian Classics Institute. Okay. And so over the next 15 months, we're going to be on that journey together. And what's also going to happen, I'm in the planning stages of it, is that in ACI, end of ACI 16, end of 17, and end of 18, I don't know a lot of you. I've seen your pretty faces. Those of you that have chosen to turn on your cameras. Right? But I also don't know you in person. And part of the Diamond Way path, if you're choosing to study with me, right? And I'm saying this is not about the 18 courses. And even when we do Delam, you can do all of that with me without saying, I want to go into Diamond Way with you, right? This is open. This is an open path in this way, And if you don't have a teacher yet, I can help you find a teacher, plant seeds for a teacher, for your perfect glove. Who is the person that's going to be perfect for you? And maybe I am that person. Maybe I'm not, but it's your seeds that kind of make that anyway. So what we're going to do is at the end of ACI 16. So I'm making a commitment to do 3 events next year. Well, over these 15 months. And I'm going to have an event in Asia area, big area of the world, the other side of the planet. Probably in places that are affordable, like Malaysia or Thailand, right? And that one's probably going to be in March, and we're going to figure it out real soon. So we're going to finish up ACI 16, and we'll have probably a 5-day course that you can come to meet each other first in person. Secondly, so I can meet you, right? Because I know you all have pretty faces, but I have no idea who you really are. And I will watch you and I will figure out, like, I'll see who you are. Like, what's your energy like? How do you interact with people? Like, who are you? And also to get an opportunity to talk with you and see what are your struggles and what are your successes. Um, we'll be doing one in Turkey, in Europe. Why Turkey? Because we have a lot of students as well from Russia, and Russians are able to travel to Turkey, right? And so, and it's also a relatively, it's a, it's kind of a nice midpoint for everybody as well. And then we'll do one in the Americas, probably somewhere in Mexico. All right, because the United States is very difficult to get visas to. So we'll just bypass that problem and go to a place that has an easy access. And so at the end of ACI 18, what we're going to do is we're going to do a Maroc, which is a celebration where there are 100 questions. You will pick a question out of the randomly, and then you will have to give us a 5-minute teaching on that question. You have to know 100 things. It's not very hard. And if you do all the reviews, it won't be hard, I promise. And then we'll start Dalam. We'll move right into that 18. At the end of course 18, we'll then do Dalam together. And I'll do that live as well. So, once we have the dates and places, we'll announce that. No dates yet, working on it still. Start making plans. Is it a requirement if you want to go into Diamond Way? So basically, just so you guys understand, is Dalam is Diamond Way courses 1, 2, and 3. All right. And it's going to be taught from it's going to be taught from the perspective of someone who is entering into Diamond Way. Right. And you're if you're joining that course, you're making a commitment to go into Diamond Way, not necessarily with me. Okay. Again, there's no pressure. This is a no pressure situation. If you have a different teacher in mind, or you're kind of still trying to figure it out, let's figure it out together. Because if you find that person, in that time with us together, that's a huge celebration. And at the end of that course, so that's 6 courses from now, then we should know each other pretty well enough to say, okay, we're ready to start, with the actual empowerments, and to start on the practices together. So that's what it looks like between 2026 and 2027. Okay. Yes, you can go to all 3 of those events. You can come to one. You may not be able to come to any of them, and that's okay too. Right. But I'm going to say that if, the Diamond Way path, if you have the seeds for it, try to plant the seeds to at least be able to come in person for some things. Right. There's something that happens in community with human beings that doesn't happen over Zoom, at least not yet in my humble experience. But if you're not able to, and your life doesn't allow it, the seeds don't work, but you are able to attend on Zoom, well, let's just talk about it. Okay. There's no pressure, right? I think transformation can happen in many, many ways. And coming in person is also there's a special blessing that happens too. Someone asked an interesting question. How does this overlap with Door to the Diamond Way? I have asked Geshe Michael this question. Okay. So we have another program running called Door to the Diamond Way. And Geshe Michael will be teaching sometime 2026. We'll be teaching another approach to Diamond Way teachings. And that's what we're doing at ACI as our main course of study. And that's actually what's coming up starting next week in Phoenix. Don't put it up yet, Anastasia. No, not yet, Marina. Turn it off. Listen, I just said not yet. Not yet. The idea of this other track, and it might be the track for you, right? We're off. Geshe Michael's going to be offering a different way into Diamond Way, and presenting the same ideas in a different presentation than the 18 Diamond Way courses. Which one should I do? You know, that's really up to you. Should I do both? I would say yes, right? But it's also your personal path and your personal path of transformation. So if you're feeling called just to you know, to study with Geshe Michael's presentation, go for it. If you're called to study the 18 courses, which is the most complete, highly detailed, organized course of study ever, from what I've ever seen, replicatable, take that path. Maybe do both. Geshe has said that if your teacher is somebody else, you can come to his classes and get the presentation as dessert, right? Come and get a different perspective, right? And but I can tell you one thing that I do know, which of course it just seeds anyhow, is that it appears that Geshe Michael doesn't have time for the personal relationships with all the students that are going to be taking Diamond Way from him. So you're going to need to find someone anyhow, at least a Ne Lama, who you can go to kind of say, hey, I need some guidance here. I don't know what to do. And so maybe Geshe Michael is your teacher and you're going to go that path. If you're studying with me, I highly recommend you go to my teacher's classes. I will always recommend his classes over mine. Okay. I would say do both. And I've asked Geshe Michael, like, what do I do? Like, how do I navigate this? Like, it seems like it's happening at the same time. And he kind of looked at me like, of course it's happening at the same time. Right. So if your worldview is strong enough, you'll see why it's an of course. It's not it's not surprising to me that my teacher is also offering, again, from what I can tell, is a path to perfected transformation at the same time that I'm offering it. And we will not teach at the same time. That is a vow, by the way. You do not teach at the same time your teacher teaches. But it's also like, oh, look, my teacher's helping me. That's awesome, right? You know, Imagine there's 204 people here. If we're all doing this together, like, I'm sorry, I don't have emanation bodies yet. I don't know how can one person support 200 people, right? That's why we need community. That's why we need each other. That's why we're doing ACI 16, 17, and 18 this way. Because these are the people who will be your Vajra brothers and sisters. These are the people who you will grow with. These are the people who, after class, you will sit with and be like, what the hell did Tim just say? I didn't understand any of that. And they go, I didn't understand it either. Let's figure it out. That's what I do. We walk out of class and we're like, what the hell did they just say? I have no idea. What was the point of that class? I don't know. I don't know. What did you get? What did you get? What did you understand? Right. And then you help each other clarify the meaning. Right. And then after you struggle for months and do your retreats and all the things and you still don't understand it, then someone shyly in class goes, Lama, I don't understand. And everyone else goes, oh my God, I didn't understand either. Right. And then you get clarification, right? Because then the other thing that starts to happen is that the path becomes more and more unique to your particular karmic configuration. Even in a partnership, the seeds that you have to purify and the seeds your partner purifies are going to be different, right? Your friends will have different situations. Your uniqueness, your shadows, the things you brought into this life and the things you're taking with you will be different. And so your practices will uniquely become suited to you and what you need. And so then you can't tell people what they should and shouldn't do. Right? Because it becomes your personal path of transformation. Right? And then you learn how to navigate through the support of other people your karmic world. What's arising? What's today like? When I sit in meditation today, what's the weather? What do I need to do to make this work? You see? And so all of the people here will become your support network. And then when you start having Diamond Way experiences, you'll then begin to wonder, is that person a student or a teacher? Every class has the one person who asks all the stupid questions. Are they an emanation of of Vajrayogini sitting in class being like trying to annoy the crap out of you? Or are they just that annoying student who doesn't seem to study? You get it? You see? So that's where we're going. Um, so if you would like to join this and finish those courses, and again, what I said is I don't have to be your teacher for you to be in this class. We're just doing a review together. Join, tell your friends about it. Be like, look, in 15 months, we can finish the classes, get all the certificates. And then we'll just keep moving along. And as long as I'm around, I promise to keep teaching it. Okay. Hopefully for a long time. But as we know, those things can change very quickly. One of our dear friends recently passed. She was teaching an ACI course and she just didn't show up one day. She made a promise and she taught until the very end, and I will teach as long as I'm here. And so the path we're going through is we're going to finish the 18 courses. Get your completion karma. You have no idea how powerful that is. You have no idea. Finish them. Then we'll start Dalam, which is another review. Haha, they trick you again. Dalam is another review of the path. Path the bliss, the quick path. Okay. But I'm going to say if you've already taken Dalam, but you want to study with me, you have to take Dalam with me. There's no exceptions. Okay. Because I'm going to teach that in a way specific to preparing us for Diamond Way together. And as I said, I just want to reiterate that I don't have to be your teacher to be part of the next 6 courses. And I want to help you find that person that's for you. And over these 6 courses, there'll be more opportunities to interact, ask questions, and then also, so I can get to know you too. Sweet. Can we put up the banner of how to join this? I don't know which one you have. I think you put it in the chat, Anastasia. Yeah, so here's the schedule coming up. Take a screenshot. join the group. If you would like to be part of this, if you would like to be part of leading review groups or in your own language, even if you haven't done everything yet, you can do that. It's a very powerful seed to help other people complete the text, that complete the courses, right? Anastasia is managing the whole big thing, and reach out to her, join those Telegram groups, Vietnamese group, join the WhatsApp, and we will continue on. This is what we're going to do for the next 15 months. It's going to be a wild ride. Okay. And then next, and Marina, next slide about Phoenix. We're starting in a week the Door to the Diamond Way 3 with Geshe Michael. He'll be teaching from the Song of My Spiritual Life and The Devil Debates the Angel. We still have space in person. Okay, Anastasia, please put this on there, put the note ACI team. In person has a hyphen. I've corrected this for the last 6 months. Drives me nuts. In person, in dash person. Thank you. I get to embarrass the whole team online because they don't listen to me otherwise, apparently. If you would like to join us in person, we will be in Phoenix. Malaysia also has a program as well. There's still a few seats available there. If you're not able to make it, we do have it online as well. Tim, what if I can't afford it? Just reach out to us and say, Tim, I can't afford it. Don't write me. I'm just going to forward you to someone else. Reach out to our team, say, I can't afford it. And then we say, well, how much can you afford? I can come to Phoenix, but I can only pay $50. Great. You just paid $1,000 to fly there and you paid for your hotel and you can only give ACI 50. Wonderful. I can't pay the 149 online. Okay. How much can you afford? Donation track. What if it's only zero? Great. Money is just money. So if you want to join those things, please come. And we're also having an amazing course development workshop for the 5 houses as well. We're going to be working specifically on identifying who the students are for each of those houses, what are their profiles, and then we're going to start creating courses during this event together, which we will start releasing in 2026 as well. So there you go. That's what's coming up. Please go back, Marina, to the first slide. Yeah, perfect. I need a little bell too. Ding, Juan's bell. So this is the schedule coming up. Hope to see you there. Please tell your friends if they didn't make it to the event today. Let's finish those courses. Let's get those certificates. They're not the cause for the advanced courses, but it's a requirement. And I promise you, by doing this work, it'll make your practice much stronger because you won't be missing anything. All right. Thank you very much for joining today. Very excited. We had over 200 people here. We had, this is going to be a wild ride. And again, if you would like to help with the event, if you'd like to help lead groups, if you would like to help with organization or marketing or writing on the screen or anything that make the event go, reach out to Anastasia, because the service component is also a main thing that we're pushing at ACI. You can, and if you can serve the events, you can serve any aspect of it. You also can serve other people. Go to the nursing home. Go help other people in need. Right? That's how we look at all of that. Cool. Thanks for joining today. Very, very much appreciate you. And let's do it. Let's make that commitment to do it. I would like all of you turn on your cameras And if you are planning on finishing all the 15 courses in 15 months, I would like you to raise your hand with an emoji. Or you can raise your hand too. We're making a commitment right now. Are you committing to doing it? Perfect. All right. Yes. All right. That's awesome. And if you're not sure yet, don't feel pressure. It's okay. It's all right. All right. Thank you all for joining today. Very, very happy to see all of you. And let's do it. So let's say goodbye to each other. Turn on your microphone and say goodbye. And we'll see you very, very soon. Hopefully next week in Phoenix.
Hi, thank
Gracias.
you.
Bye-bye.
This is great.
Bye.
Great.
Para vedere tutto sì.
Been waiting for this a long
Everyone.
time.
Раде, раде, Ив. Было очень здорово.
Спасибо, Дима.
Сначала
Teacher.
а потом было так. И нормально.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I'm waiting for just for my name.
Love
Thank you,
you.
teacher.
Love you.
Right.
Thank you, everybody. See you completing all the 18 courses.
Stay and teach.
Поблагодарю.
Thank you, team.
Hey. Thank you,
Спасибо.
Tim.
Mulțumesc.
Right.
Gracias. Por favor, quédate y sigue enseñando.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a
Thank
wonderful
you very much.
Grazie mille, team.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right. Ta-da.